The goal of this video is to show you how Phyn's automatic daily and manual plumbing checks work, because this is where the built-in auto magic of Phyn Plus detects the smaller leaks inside your home's plumbing. At some threshold in between insanely small drips and full blast breaks, Phyn Plus doesn't cut the water off. Instead, the automatic daily and manual plumbing checks discover the smaller leaks. There are 3 parts to this video: a demonstration on how the automatic daily plumbing check works, the difference between an automatic and a manual plumbing check, and the details on the settings you can change, notifications, and limitations. Let's start off by doing a walkthrough on what happens when the daily plumbing check discovers a small leak. In my case, I wake up to a push notification and a warning text. When you open up the Phyn app, you'll see an entirely different first screen. The normal welcome message is gone, replaced by a drop-in pressure notice. When you click on Test Details, it shows you how long the health check ran and the pressure lost during the test. Once you go through the rest of the questions, the main screen now has an additional option: See Alerts. If you click on See Alerts or the notification bell at the top, they both take you to the Active tab on the notification screen. You can't miss the plumbing check alert on this screen. When you click on it, it shows the test details you saw before. The alert will stay in the Active tab until the next successful plumbing check passes, at which point it will move to the Resolved tab. However, if you suspect a leak or you're trying to determine a possible source of the leak after receiving an alert, you can also run a manual plumbing check. Obvious, but for completeness, you can run a manual plumbing check at any time and as often as you want, which is a difference from the automatic plumbing check, which only runs once a day. The manual and automatic daily plumbing checks are almost identical, except for a subtle difference. If you run a manual check, you can decide whether to run a normal plumbing check, which can last up to 6 minutes, or an extended check, which can last up to 13 minutes. Although at this point, I'll say the normal plumbing check runs for 3 minutes with no leak, a small leak it can detect, or a semi-larger small leak. Likewise, the extended check lasts for 10 minutes with those same 3 scenarios. A test is not ended preemptively, and I have not discovered a scenario where it's extended out further. If you run the manual check and the leak is not large enough to satisfy the threshold, which we'll go over later in this video, but it is close, the app will suggest you run an extended plumbing check. In the automatic check, this transition will happen seamlessly, with the normal plumbing check automatically extending further. Here, you can compare a regular nightly check on the left with no simulated leak to a recommended manual extended plumbing check with a drip introduced every 4 seconds during the day, along with the results from a regular plumbing test that happens in the middle of the night. You can see the automatic plumbing check extended the test on its own. Let's compare that to a manual plumbing test on a drop of water introduced every 5 seconds and a nightly plumbing test. Despite the fact that no alert was sent and neither result suggested or triggered an extended test, you can see there is still a significant difference, and you can use this to your advantage. As you can see here, I caught an automatic plumbing check in action while introducing a leak in the system. If you open the app while a daily plumbing check is in progress, you'll see the countdown. While the countdown stops at 0, and it actually counted down to the full 4 minutes, you can see the test continued on for 6 more minutes as Phyn Plus continued to fully test the leak. Here are the rest of the details on manual and automatic plumbing checks. By default, Phyn Plus runs a daily plumbing check between midnight and 6 a.m. The automatic plumbing check is limited to 1 test a day, which can be set to run within a window of your choosing. You can choose to receive a warning text and/or push notification when a small drip is detected. You can also receive a phone call if you set up IF and link it to Phyn. While the Phyn app gives you the option to disable this feature, and it isn't currently a requirement for the warranty or deductible coverage through the Uponor Pro Squad, I'm going to put it right out there that you bought or are buying this device to help you, and Phyn gives you the ability to change the time this test runs. So just make sure you modify the runtime to a period you generally don't use water and let it protect your home. The Phyn app stores the results of the last 60 plumbing checks. When you scroll through the plumbing check results, you can clearly see the start and ending PSI from each test, along with a chart on how long it ran, just as you could with an alert. While there's a threshold where a leak can be too small to catch, the fact that Phyn shares the beginning and ending PSI is not something shared across all leak detection systems, and you can detect the presence of a leak manually by occasionally looking at your plumbing check history screen, as I shared in this past video when I discovered a leak forming in my own home. If you notice there are a couple days missing, you have a sharp eye. If you interrupt a plumbing check by using water at the same time it is running, the plumbing check will immediately stop. You'll barely notice the water turning back on. You won't get a notice that it was interrupted, and you won't see an entry for that day, but you will see you used water about that time in the usage history. Also, if you run a manual test close to the normal runtime of the automatic daily test, the automatic daily test will not run for that night. If Phyn does catch a heating cycle from your storage water heater, it will also abort the plumbing test because it knows the result will be invalid. For example, when your water heater runs overnight to maintain the temperature in the storage tank, it runs about 5 minutes and then shuts off. This is a temporary change in pressure going up at an extreme rate, whereas you would normally expect to see a small drop in pressure during an automatic test due to the water cooling in the tank. As I said in this past video, Phyn publishes their plumbing check thresholds and explains their measurements. I have a link to this page in the description. It is especially important for you to click on the link and to verify for yourself, because I can't change this video, but they can easily change the website as the developers improve the system. In any case, you can see an automatic plumbing alert depends on two things: an estimate of the diameter of the leak and the drop in pressure for the duration of the test. There's also a discount code in the description if you're considering a DIY install or an installation outside of the Uponor Pro Squad. Please hit the like button if you found this information helpful, and stay tuned because this video and the other leak testing videos on Phyn Plus are leading up to a full-on comparison with Flo by Moen. That video will help you decide which features are the most important to you and help you pick the best system to protect your home. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Friday.